if we are standing in front in a dark room in that there is no light, to get more light, the size of hole increases. In that condition, the iris decrease their length. So we can say pupil controls the amount of light enters into the eye. That is pupil. After that, the light enters into another part. That part is made up of a very transparent crystalline tissues, which is very soft, and that tissue, crystalline tissue, is supported by kind of muscles. That muscles are connected to the eyeball. That muscles are known as ciliary muscles. So ciliary muscles support the eye lens. This we call the eye lens. The eye lens is a crystalline transparent tissues which are able to change their size according to the requirement with the help of the ciliary muscles. Then after this lens, eye lens, there is a space. That space is known as posterior chamber, which is filled with a liquid, very highly transparent liquid, vitreous humor. That liquid is having some refractive index. After that, there is a part that we call rear part of this eyeball. The rear part of the inner and the rear, the inner part of the eyeball, inner and rear part of the eyeball, on which the image is formed. That part is known as retina. So the part where the image is formed is also known as the screen. In the light chapter we discussed. We came across the word screen where the image is formed. Here also inside the eye ball, the image is formed on this retina. So we call this is screen of the eye. That image is formed with the help of two kinds of sensory cells, rods and cones. These are the two kinds of sensory cells. These are some parts related to this human eye. Then how this human eye is working, how it is used to identify the object placed in front of us. Suppose an object is placed, any object is placed in front of the human eye. From this object, light rays are coming out. That light rays are traveling towards the eye, enters into the cornea, then refract through the eye lens. The eye lens refract the light. From this, the light rays are traveling. And this light ray, it is traveling into the eye, refract through the lens, passes through, travel through this liquid, and finally it is forming the image on the retina with the help of these two cells. And the nature of image formed on this retina is real and inverted. It is real and inverted images formed. This image formed on the retina is carried by the optic nerves, to the brain, So whatever be the images formed on the retina, which is transferred to the optic nerves. In the optic nerves, that image is converted into the electrical impulses. In the form of electrical impulses, that image is transferred. Image is carried to the brain. Brain receive it, analyze it. After the complete analyzation of this impression, electrical impulse, it identify the nature of the object placed in front of the person, and it gives the command to corresponding part of the human body. In this way, we are able to find the object placed in front of us. So the image is formed in the retina. Image is formed on the retina, but where we are seeing, suppose you are seeing anything in front of you, the object is placed in front of you, and you are seeing finally that the image is also formed in front of you, but actually it is formed in the retina, but we are seeing that object at the same place. Then some terms related to this human eye is also there. The terms are, there are so many terms. The first one is, the image is formed on the retina. That image formed on the retina exists on the retina for some time. That time for which the image exists on the retina is known as persistence of vision. Persistence of vision. This is the time for which the image exists on the retina. That persistence of vision is 1/16th second. 1/16th second. Up to this time, whatever the image formed on the retina, that exists. Within that time, if anything is shown in front of the eye, it will not form the image. Once the image is cleared, once the image is transferred to the brain, then only it will form the image of next object. Before that, it will not engage that object. So this is the minimum time up to which, within which or beyond which we can show the object. Within that time, we cannot distinguish different objects shown in front of our eye. That is the persistence of vision. And then coming to the eye lens. Eye lens, it is the convex lens. Eye lens is the convex in nature. This convex lens, whatever the lens we have in the laboratory, they are all having the focal length. This convex lens is also having focal length, but the difference is this convex lens have variable focal length. Means this convex lens is able to change its focal length according to the distance of object placed in front of object, with the help of the ciliary muscles. With the help of the ciliary muscles. The object may be placed nearer to us, or the object may be placed far away from us at very longer distance. For longer distance, the focal length of eye lens must be longer. For nearer object, shorter distant object, the focal length must be short, small. According to that, the lens is able to change its focal length. For longer distant object, focal length is longer. And for nearer object, focal length is small or short. This changing of focal length is taken place with the help of ciliary muscles. Whenever we see the longer distant object, the focal length of eye lens increases. It increases. In that case, the ciliary muscles get relaxed. When the ciliary muscles relaxed, focal length of lens increases. In that condition, the lens becomes thinner. In that condition, it becomes thinner. If the lens is thinner, focal length is long. When the ciliary muscles contracted, the lens become thicker. When the lens is thicker, focal length is small. For longer distant object, this is the condition required. Its focal length should be longer. Ciliary muscles get relaxed. For the nearer object, the focal length should be small and the ciliary muscles get contracted. These are the conditions. They are changing for this nature, for this condition on its own, according to the distance of object. Then the next question is, up to what longer distance the eye is able to see anything, any object.